I think yesterday we talked about this service provider, correct?
Yeah, service provider is the last topic.
Yep. So, do you understand these things? Like these are the major things which we talk about lot of the times, or these are you can say the uh, those terminologies, those words you can see in your future. Okay,
Hmm.
with many terms like service provider, identity provider. So
Hmm.
just focus on that part. Like there are two things. One is your identity provider where all the identities are being stored or managed or authenticate. Okay, this is the main repository from where our users are going to engage with rest of the applications or authenticate in different application in the downstream applications. Okay, so the whatever this I'm saying to the downstream application, that means these are the service provider side. Okay, there are two things. One is the identity provider and second is your service provider. Okay, in between we are capable or doing the stuff of our identity and access management, any kind of product. Okay, in between that. Okay, that is in the comes in this picture. Okay, so in coming sessions like in Okta or any kind of tool you wanted to go ahead in future or learn, so you can see in these kind of activities so many times or these kind of terms are being used so many times. Okay, let me give you one example. I'll come back on this PPT again. Okay, so what exactly I'm trying to say over here, one is our identity provider, IDP. Okay, and the second side it is we are having SP provider, service provider. Okay, so the identity provider what we are having, either it going to be our Okta, because Okta is also one of the behaving as a identity provider or service provider. Let's take an example, not taking the Okta right now, then you will confused. Okay, let's take our identity provider is our Active Directory, AD. Okay, and our service provider is our applications like Zoom application, O365 application. Okay, O365 means Outlook, PowerPoint, whatever the things, Teams, channels, and anything. Okay, then we are having some Slack application, Salesforce application. Okay, or you can say any kind of application, SAP application. So these are our service provider application because these applications are providing the services. Okay, and in our AD side, what is inside the AD? Inside the AD, we are having our identity. Correct. So our identity, what the identity is having, their username and the password. Correct. That is being stored over here. And even the identities are having their attributes like the name, age, location. Correct. So these are all the attributes which are having. So when our my identity is going to touch any kind of application over here, he should be authenticating on those applications. Once they are authenticating, so on that side, service provider gives him a way to authorize them they are coming from a genuine source. They are coming from the genuine source. Like the repository, the authentication has been taken care by the Active Directory. Then they are able to log in you in that application. Until not. Okay. So the process between identity provider to service provider, who is supposed to be taken care in between? There are couple of products. Right now we are talking about Okta. Okay, so these are the products who are managing, who are making a bridge between your identity provider users to get capable to access your service provider applications. Okay, so these terms you can see in lot of many times. Like identity provider is anything, your Azure Active Directory, Azure Intra ID, your AWS, okay, your Google, okay, your Active Directory, on-prem Active Directory, okay, any kind of Active Directory who is managing your identity. Correct. Let's come back to our main slide. So this is the terms like Active Directory means IDP or service provider. You can came across in future so many times. Okay. So this is our slide. So these are the two things which I'm talking to you too much. Now we are having SAML. Now what is SAML and what is OAuth and what is OIDC? Okay. So these are all the three are the protocols. These are all three the protocols through which we are going to connect our application of the service provider side. Okay. So these are the methods. You can say the protocols, the method, the way how we can connect all those applications. Okay. Again, I am going in the paint and describe you a little bit like protocols. I am talking about right now protocols, or we call it as a methods. These what type of protocol, what type of methods they are? They are authentication protocol. Authentication for whom? Who is going to authenticate? User. So how user is going to authenticate himself in application, which is on, we call it a service provider. So how it is going to be authenticated? Then they are using SAML, Security Assertion Markup Language. OAuth means other authorization method. OIDC, Open ID Connect. We call it as a Open ID Connect. Okay, these three are the methods through which user is going to connect with those all application with the authentication mechanism. Okay, apart from these protocols, we are having some other protocols in Okta like SWA, Secure Web Authentication. Okay, Secure Web Authentication. Okay, there is one more protocol we call it a WS Fed. WS Federation. We call it is a WS Federation, means web-based federation, which is only workable for accessing O365 application, means Microsoft application, specifically bound for Microsoft application. We are using WS Federation. Okay. For other, we can use SAML, OAuth, OIDC. It depends how these applications are having a capability of all these protocols. Okay, it is too fast and it is too hard to understand in the first time. But once we see in all of the things in Okta, you can easily grab that knowledge. Okay, I'm just giving you the heads up about that. These are only the protocols. Okay, we can talk about this thing later also. Okay,
One
so
question
secure.
here.
Yep, yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, SAML and OAuth and OIDC is the methodologies are like a protocol, set of protocols.
These are the set of protocols for authentication protocol. We can say.
Okay, in the access management also we have set of protocols like how to manage and how to access the controls, right? Then what is the
Yes.
difference between that one and this one?
Access management in terms of like.
In the access management also have set of protocols like how to control and manage the access activities, right?
So the managing the activities and other part, it is to be there, that is to be done by set of policies, set of rules are be there. Okay,
Okay.
there is
Mm-hmm.
no set of protocols. These
Mm-hmm.
protocols are generally work on your website, means web area. Okay, in the cloud platform, whether you are going to touch any kind of applications. Okay, these are going
Okay.
to work only on that area, whether you are going to touch these kind of applications. Like how it is going to be done. Okay, let me give you one more heads up so you can easily understand. So the access control has to be taken care by set of rules, policies, which is to be already been implemented by the organization. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that is the one area.
Mm-hmm.
Second area is to, it is to be there, like in your organization are having one AD. Okay, or the IDP, it is to be there. Okay, and in your organization is connecting with some other applications also for work. Okay, so how user over here get connect with those applications? So first, before user is going to access those applications, we need to integrate both the things. We need to join, we need to connect all of the things like IDP to application, we need to connect. Then after, second place is to be the for user authentication side. This is the first area, then it is to a second area. For the first area, for connecting application to our IDP, we required certain kind of protocol, as I told you. So that's why it is called as a protocol for authentication. Okay.
Got
Once it is to be the making a connection between both of the them, then user is get to authenticate themselves. Okay, with this channel. This channel is now already set up, then user is jump on that area and access himself. Okay, so this is the way how we are going to authenticate our user. That's why we call it as a authentication methods. Okay, any
it.
questions so far?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I got the
Okay,
clarification.
yeah. So that protocol, that mechanism, something different, that control are something different. These are something other area, because you have seen the protocol that enable SSO across different organization and platform, like a user login in Workday HR system using company credential without re-entering his login details. Okay. So how it is going to be done? How he is able to access the Workday applications? Okay. With the help of their credentials, of the company credentials. Okay, once he's typing a company credentials in a Workday, so how Workday will authenticate that person? So Workday authenticate that person because on the first time Workday integrated with our one of that the IDP, or either one of that the area of the protocol through which we can connect any kind of our protocol, either it is to be the Okta, either with some other things. Okay, then it is going to be happen. I'll give you a complete picture once we are doing certain kind of activity. These protocols are majorly whether at the time is using when we are using any kind of onboarding in Okta or any kind of product. We are onboarding any application in our premises. Then we are using these protocols. Okay. Then you will easily understand about SAML, OAuth, and OpenID Connect. Okay. I'll give you a heads up when they are coming in this picture. Okay. So that is over here just a terminology. If you came across these terminology, you will easily figure it out. Okay. Now, what is user? So user, you already know, an individual or entity accessing any kind of system or an application, that is our user. Like Sarah is a software engineer logging into a company and the GitHub repository. So it means that Sarah is a user. Correct. Similarly, for our groups, what exactly we call it is a groups. Groups basically means a collection of users. Okay, like you, me, all of the person who is inside in that session right now. So we are a group of person who get to know what exactly the Okta it is. We are taking the session of Okta training. So we are in a group. We are all the users. Okay, so there should be some users who are specifically bound for one application or one kind of activity, then we collect inside in one group. So if my organization, I am hiring for IT engineers. Okay, so I'll put them in an IT group. Okay, if I'm hiring only for marketing guy, I'll put them in a marketing area because their skill set is according to their domain. Domain means either they are IT domain, either they belongs to the marketing domain. Okay, then we call it the group of a group of users who is bound with specific kind of activities assigned to them. Okay, so it's easy for me to understand in my organization that these guys are belongs to the cyber security, these guys belongs to the development area, these are guys belongs to the testing department. Okay, so that is how we can segregate their capabilities under those groups. Okay, now it comes to the role. If group is defined, if we know that user, if we know the groups, now what is exactly the role of that user? Role basically defined that a set of permission assigned to user based on his job function. Okay, according to his job, according to his workability, according to his work, what exactly he is going to perform. So on that time, we am going to assign him a role. Like if a guy who is working on certain kind of office activity or any kind of things in operational side, so we can assign a service desk role for that person, correct? Or like a help desk kind of activity as a help desk analyst kind of role is we are creating in an office for them, who can just take care about that the user, the client issue on that side. Similarly, like software developer role, if the guy who is deploying or implementing any kind of activity in a project, so we call it is a software developer role. Under the software developer role, we are having the multiple groups also. Okay, like a software developer role, we can assign some guys in that unit testing group, some guys in the implementation group, some guys in the documentation group. So again, there is again a little bit of segregation we can implement on that side also. Okay, like a database administrator role has permission to modify database configuration. So that role is given to one person, database administration. This role is given to one of the person who can do data configuration kind of activity only. Okay, so that's why a set of permission assigned to user based on his job, job function. Correct?
Yeah.
Now we are having the service account. We are having multiple accounts like admin account, okay, like privilege account. What exactly the service account? Service account is basically a special type of account used by applications or automate process instead of human. Okay, just read one more time. It's a special kind of account used by application or automated process instead of human. There is no such human account. If in an organization there is no human account, that means either it is a service account. Okay, like a backup script uses a service account to store files on a cloud server. Okay, so there should be some script who is which is going to be running on our area in the cloud server side. So that's why we call it is a service accounts. Okay, like how it is going to be helpful for us, like at the time whether we are enabling or we are doing certain kind of activity, like in an automation for automation purpose, like the guys who are working or the guys who are not going to work, the system wants to upgrade. Okay, so on that time there should be some service account is going to be running that the script, whether for an automated purpose, like it going to be start every month end, it going to be start every you can say mid of the year. Every year this kind of service is going to be started to update himself. So that account we call it is a service account. In our system also there are a lot of service accounts who just keep checking any kind of update, it's keep checking any kind of suspicious activity, any antivirus, any kind of things. Okay, that service accounts is also be built up in our systems also. Similarly, these service accounts are workable for us in a project side also. Okay, in IDM side, not in project, IDM side, identity and access management, complete infrastructure area, where automation has to be taken care by these service accounts. Okay, now we are having the identity. What should be that? The machine identity. Machine identity means a unique identity assigned to non-human entities. Okay, that we call it is a machine identity, like your IoT devices, like your server, like your bots. Okay, like your servers. Okay, like your printer. So what exactly these are? These are the machine identity. All you know that these are the machines, like IoT devices are machines. What is a machine? Okay, printer, server, these are all the machines. So that's why we call it is a machine identity. Why we call it is a identity now? So we are calling it is a identity just because these are having their own model number, their tag number, their specification, okay, their capabilities, their storing capabilities. Every machine having come with this kind of thing. Okay, like if I'm talking about a machine like your laptop machine, so it's having a model number, it's having his invoice number, it's having his configuration related to what is having like RAM, GB, okay, like hard disk, okay, like CPU, like processor. So these are all the configuration of that identity of machine identity. Okay, what's the example for that? A self-driving car authenticate itself to a traffic management system. Okay, so how it is to be there, like machine identity, a unique identity which is non-human. So we can take an example for a self-driving car. It will authenticate himself. Okay, he knows himself that whatever the signal it is to be comes in front of car, it will work accordingly. Okay, so these machines are help us on that way. Like for a bot, okay, in any kind of bot you have seen, if you are entering your query, he immediately asks you, hi, I'm this thing and what's your problem, let me know. That's the thing. Okay, then you put down your details over there. Then eventually next side a human guide is to be sitting there, he will come up, either it will roll out the same thing for you. That's again questions and answers. Okay, these kind of things call it a machine identity. Now there is a device authentication. It will ensure and secure communication between machine and the system. Okay, machine and the system means like there is a machine, there is a bot. Okay, he check whatever you are saying to him, whatever your issue it is to be there, either it is resolved or not, it will check in the backend side. Okay, it will check your authenticity from the backend area also. Okay, so that's the things we call it is a device authentication on that time. Okay, your machine with the system authentication area. Okay, so that we call it is a machine identity. Now there is one more thing is a session token. If you know the session, you can easily understand what is session token. Session means right now I am teaching you Okta training, I am training. So that is I am in a session. Okay. So every session come up with the token. Okay. A temporary credential issued for an inactive user sessions or an active user session. Okay. Like right now we are in a meeting. Okay, in a meeting we have a session, so there should be some code for this session, correct? That code is going to be expire after 1 hour, after 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours. Okay, so the special kind of token which is assigned for certain kind of duration and issued to that person for generating or going forward in that session, so that we call it is a session token, a temporary based token. Okay, after that thing, once this thing is going to be over, this token is going to be expire. Okay, as you've seen in multiple times in the teams. Okay, there should be some code, passcode, zoom call, there should be some passcode. If the person who don't know the passcode, so he is not able to access that session. Okay, if he enter his any token over there, a passcode over there, he will join that token after certain duration of time. Once this session is over, okay, if he going to join that code again, he can't able to join that again. Okay, this is the we call it is a session token. Like in a shopping website issues a temporary login token valid for only 24 hours. Correct? You have seen lot of many times. Like whether at the Amazon Prime sale is going on, or either Big Billion Day from the Flipkart is going on, or lot of other channel it is to be there. Okay, so on that time they just launch a session token on that time. Okay, so these kind of thing you have seen at the time of your APIs. Okay, the API is having these kind of activity. A API having a certain kind of you can say the information whether it is passing on to different location. Till the time it is passing or transferring from one area to different area, there should be they are going to authenticate themselves on the basis of their session token. Once the session is established, then they authenticate themselves by the token value. Okay, that's why it is comes in this picture in IAM session token. PAM is all you know about that part. PAM, what exactly the meaning of PAM? As we already know, privilege accounts. Okay, so now over here is a privilege account is quite similar, or it is going to be here completely be the right area for PAM. Privilege account directly correlated with privilege access management area. Okay, like we are having the control access as in the privilege account, like strict management for the privilege account. It will monitoring continuous oversight of privilege activities. Risk mitigation like means reducing potential damage from compromised account. Okay, that's why this whole parameter, all area, we call it is a PAM solution. Okay, we are only talking about that the privilege activities. A security solution that controls and monitor privilege account access only. Privilege account access means only a few IT admins can reset password or all employees. Okay, for all employees. Then we call it is a privilege account management. Okay, so there should be some guys who are having the privilege access. Okay, then they are only that the right person who can do a specific kind of activity for all the employees or either for one of the employees. Okay, to making this kind of activity under the management area, then the term comes under the privilege access management. Okay, for privilege access management, which tool is going to be helpful for that? We are having some different tools like CyberArk. These PAM solutions or these PAM category is comes under again in the IAM side. Okay. Similarly for IGA. Now IGA, what's the IGA? It is IGA stand for basically managing user account from creation or deletion. This is one of the capability of the IGA. Access request, streamlining the process of requesting and approving the request, like that is comes under the IGA part. And compliance auditing area, like regularly check ensuring there are policies a company enforce automatically or not, that is comes under the IGA in terms we call it is a governance. Okay, if you know what exactly the meaning of governance, you can easily understand that part. So what exactly we are governing? We are governing the identity. Okay, we are doing this governance on the administrator side. Okay, so that's the capability comes in this picture. IGA helpful for us in the identity lifecycle management. Identity lifecycle management means once how the user is going to be created, how his self-service activity is going on in the industry or the system, and how is offboarded from that the organization. So the creating the identity till the deletion of the identity, that is comes under the IGA. Okay, access request. If user is requesting for any kind of role, any kind of application, if you're requesting for any kind of privilege, so who is going to assign all this accessing or who is providing all those access and approval? This kind of activity we can see lot of the time in the IGA solutions. Okay, for IGA solutions, what we are having for IGA solution, we are having one different tool called SailPoint, Savient. Okay, these kind of tools are going to be work in our IGA parameter. But again, IGA is the part of IAM also. Okay. Similarly for clients audit, compliance audit. So compliance audit basically means if I am the manager, I am one of my subordinate requesting some of the permissions. He is looking for some of the accessibility. So I am approving his request. Okay. But in an industry, how we can figure it out? How many requests has been generated? How many approval has been given to in the industry, in the system till so far? So we can audit that thing also. Okay, with the help of certain kind of tools. Okay, in SailPoint, there is we call it as a certification. In the certification review, we can check all these things like quarterly basis, yearly basis, by half yearly basis. We can check all those audits. How many licenses has been done? How many the licenses part is going to be expire? Okay, who is going to be how many request has been generated for this user, how many times he is going to generate this request, how many times he is approving. Okay, so we can circulate or we can track the record from the report and we can audit all those reports. That's why it comes under compliance audit area. Okay, so these are the three capabilities which is going to be taken care by your IGA. Okay, you have identity life cycle management. Okay, it's similar to your life cycle management. Life cycle management, as I already told you, like whether the user is hiring in an organization, how his ID is going to be modified, he's getting some promotion in an organization, he's getting a lot of projects in an organization. So these modifications are going on in that organization on the identity side. Again, the identity is going to be like uh, leaving from an organization or a project. So we call it as a deactivation of the account, or offboardation of the account, or disabling the account. So that's why the complete solution we call it is a life cycle management. In childhood days, you have seen or you have read about that area, like life cycle. Create a life cycle of butterfly. Create a life cycle of human. Okay, so these kind of things is similar for over here in the identity and access management platform also. Okay, life cycle management of the user, life cycle management of the identity, how it is going to be created, where the identity we are taking. Okay, either from outside, either from inside, how his ID is going to be modified. Okay, according to his designation, his manager has been changed, his designation has been changed. Okay, so there's kind of things we can see in our life cycle management. So it means that the process of creating, updating, removing your identities across your IT system, like an employee is automatically assigned access to required tools upon joining. Okay, required tools means at the time of joining, he is getting some tools, like he's getting some email accounts he's already been created for him. Correct? He is authenticating in certain areas. Accessing part is going to be created for him. Employee ID has been created for him. So these are the part of his life cycle area of this identity. Okay, so that is comes under life cycle management. Now there is one more major term it is to be comes in picture. This is cloud infrastructure entitlement management. CIEM. We call it as a CIEM. These all the things like CIEM, CIAM. Okay, so they are a complete. They are having a complete posture, I can say. These are the complete IAM postures through which industries are running. Okay, so if I'm talking about that project belongs to CIEM, so it means that it belongs to the security approach project. Okay, where I can do certain kind of activity like managing access right, entitlement in the cloud environment. Entitlements are nothing but it's these are the permissions. Okay, entitlement equal to the permission, you can say that. Okay, so whatever the things we are doing in the cloud area at the approach of security, that we call it is under comes under the CIM area. Okay, these are the some you can say bigger, you can say not the bigger, these are the some different area but belongs to the IM. These are the complete inside, they are a complete solution. Okay, through which the companies are or the organizations are running. Okay, like an example, the AWS IM alerts an admin about an unused but highly privileged user's accounts are be there. Okay, like cloud security, it will ensure a proper access control in the complex cloud infrastructure. So these CIM, CIEM or CIAM access management area, so they are having a complete solution in it. Our industries are built in that parameter. Okay, they are having a certain kind of activity which is running in that industry. So that's why they are putting in an that area in the cloud side. Okay, so we can see all these terms like CIEM, CIM in a project area. Once you are deploying certain kind of projects, so you can see, you can get to know what exactly that thing. Like a client having a CIM platform, okay, or CIM infrastructure. So you can easily understand what exactly going on in this client project or this client industry. Okay, after checking this thing. Now there is zero trust security. Zero trust security. What is mean by the zero trust security? Zero trust security means trust nobody, verify every time. Okay, like an example over here, a security model that assumes no user or device is trustworthy without continuous verification. Okay, like you are Revti, or you are showing me your identity card, but I am not going to trust you. Then you are showing me some other thing. Then again, I am not going to trust you for your authenticity. Again, you are showing me something that I belongs to that area, this access card belongs to me, this laptop belongs to me. So on that parameter I am cross verifying to you. Okay, so that we call it is a zero trust security or zero trust model. In our organization, in any organization, there should be those organizations who are built upon on the IAM infrastructure. They are having this kind of security policies or this kind of zero trust models are being implemented there. Okay, like as I told you yesterday session, once in the security guard asking you for your ID card, you can show him, correct? Again, your verification has been done, but again you just came up to at the front of your ODC door, then again it will ask you your identity, then you can punch your access card over there, correct? After that thing, you just sit around your machine. In machine, you are entering your username and password. Either you are using the wrong password is not going to authenticate you. Again, he is checking for your verification. Correct? So that's the model we call it is a zero trust security. Okay. Like an example, every login attempt is verified even after knowing the user. Okay. I know that person, I know everything of the person, but I am going to continuously verifying that person till the time he is going to authenticate. Okay, so continuous verification it is to be there means implementing ongoing checks rather than one-time authentication. One-time authentication is not be there in zero trust security method. Okay, you need to be re-verify yourself, re-authenticate yourself. So that is the major thing which is going to be implemented in every area in IAM security posture or either in your organization's area. If it is not be there, so it means that there should be some breach will come in your organization. Okay, anyone can hack any system. Anyone can sit and work on any system. Okay, so that is should be there always. Zero trust. Got it? Now there is one more thing is identity threat detection and response. We call it as a ITDR. This is not the part of IAM, not the part of IAM basically that I am talking about that the your terminologies area. So terminology area that is the fine enough things. Okay, just give me one sec. Someone is coming. Okay, so ITDR is a one of the terminology we can use or we can find in our IAM sector also, identity and access management area, where organizations are built in IAM area. Okay, what exactly this is the part of? This is the part of SOC, security side. Okay, ITDR. Whether we find any kind of threat is coming to our organization, we can detect it and make a response on that area. Either we can stop them, either we can give response them, or either we can mitigate them. Okay, that is comes under the ITDR. Okay, if any kind of threat in terms of identity threat is coming to any kind of organization, then we can do real time scenario activity on that area. Okay, in if you see in SOC parameter or you can say in a cyber security area, we are having two kinds of team. Okay, there is one team we call it is a blue team, or we call it is the second team we call that is a red team, and there is one more team we call it is a gray team. Okay, so what's the working of that teams? So always blue team work as a detection. So these are the detection team who is detecting where exactly there is a loophole in our system. Okay, they are detecting the source where it is coming from. Okay, and there is a red team who always like response in the terms of like mitigating the threat or either responding the threat or either solving the threat. Okay, so that is to be done by that team. And there is one more team, we call it the gray team, who can do both of the activities. Okay, either if they are going to detect it and respond them. Similarly, in our organization, if we are having the organization, so these kind of activity we can came across. Okay, so the cybersecurity mechanism that identify and mitigates the identity-related threats comes under the ITDR. Like a security system detects multiple failed login attempts and block the account. Okay, so ITDR team will do this activity. Either we can implement these things like after 5 login we can create some policy after 5 login your account is going to be blocked or account is locked. Okay, so that is comes under that ITDR area. Or either a person who is who get to know your password, he is trying to access your account and he is entering multiple times, he is accessing one kind of application, but eventually that is not the behavior of yours working. So on that time, a suspicious kind of report has been generated, which is to be generated by the response team. Okay, so that will defend or that will define that thing a suspicious activity is going on. So you can take an action on that area. So this is very much helpful in proactive defense area. If your organization having these kind of activities or implemented these kind of activities is good for all of that the infrastructure. Okay, there are some of the IM best practices. We are supposed to do some regular audits. We are supposed to do some strong password policies. We are having some principle of least privilege accounts will be there. Multi-factor authentication should be there. Okay, so this is one of the things on the conclusion side of the future of the IM. It is very much it is to be there. It is basically for involving in the AI driven solution should be there. Increase focus on users experience, tighter the integration with emerging technologies like blockchaining and the quantum computing area. So that is how this IM is going moving forward. Okay, IM is not bound with all those whatever the things it is to be done. Now they are jumping on some other areas like quantum theory, quantum computing, and the AI part. So that is becoming a good future for the IM side also. Okay. So these are all the terminologies which I am talking to you right now. So that are all the things which is you should know on that the IM side. Okay. On that terminology, on that definition, the IM is built. Okay. Any questions so far? Everything? Okay, there are certain kind of things which I supposed to be required. Okay, because our IAM kind of activity and understandability is quite good enough now. Okay, I hope so. So the next thing which I going to require on the Okta side right now. Okay, only on the Okta side. Okay, because now we are jumping on the one of the IAM tool, Okta. Okay, so firstly we need to create our account. Okay, so there is a free trial account which is Okta is providing. Okay, for 30 days. So you can do the practice on the Okta tenant for 30 days. So you can create your account with free trial account. Okay. Then I required some of the capabilities like VM, virtual machine. Either you can download from Oracle website or a VM where you are having. So that is also good. Okay. So these two things. And the third thing which I required it is your uh, ISO file, Windows Server ISO file, .iso file. Okay, if you are having these things, that is fine. Either I will give it to you. Okay, but for the free trial, we require to register with our work email ID. That is the mandatory part required over here. Okay, this is the one time this is going to be required for creating this account, for registering this account in Okta website. Okay, so these are some of the prerequisites for learning the Okta or creating a lab. These are all the lab setups. okay, in your machine. So once this lab setup is to be done, then we are good enough to understand Okta practically. Only you, okay, only both of you, okay, practical side. I can demonstrate from my area, but again, how you can do some practical from your end, how you can do some assignment in your side, okay, or practice yourself. So on that side, I need to create a lab in your machine, okay, for this thing. So first link, if it is we are having, I can create, I can give you access, or I can give you this software. You can deploy this thing in your machine. But again, this thing is required majorly. Either we don't have this thing, that is fine, but we require this thing, free trial account. Okay.